Sudiksha Konanki's parents have asked Dominican authorities to declare their daughter dead. Sudiksha Konanki was a student at the University of Pittsburgh when she went missing. Their request highlights the heartbreaking realities of losing a child and handling the legalities of a missing person case. Subarayudu and Sridevi Konanki requested that police proceed with the legal declaration of her death, in a letter obtained by CNN, stating that they believe Konanki drowned and that no evidence of foul play has been found. The Dominican Republic National Police's investigation into her disappearance continues as of Thursday. We understand that certain legal procedures must be followed and are prepared to comply with any necessary formalities or documentation, Konanki's parents' letter reads. Our family will be able to begin the grieving process and address issues related to her absence if this process is initiated. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office in Virginia, where Konanki's family lives, told CNN that while it supports the wishes of Ms. Konanki's grieving parents to seek closure in their request that the Dominican law enforcement authorities acknowledge the death of their daughter by accidental drowning, it is up to Dominican Republican authorities to make that determination. Sheriff Mike Chapman believes the investigation in the DR should be completed before the case is closed, Sheriff's spokesperson Thomas Julia stated in an email to CNN on Wednesday. That still does not confirm exactly what happened, and we may never know with certainty. In the Dominican Republic, police don't typically declare someone deceased without finding either a body or evidence of a crime, according to Dominican attorney Julio Curi. In this case, investigators have neither. A death declaration without a body would have to happen via special law by the country's Congress or the President, Curi told CNN's Jessica Hasbin. Curi stated that there is no set duration for this procedure. According to the website of the U.S. Embassy in the Dominican Republic, in order to prepare a consular report of death abroad, an original local death certificate is required. Naomi Can, a law professor and co-director of the Family Law Center at the University of Virginia School of Law, says that the Commonwealth's law in Virginia allows for a person to be presumed dead after a disappearance in a number of situations. One provision allows for the person's death to be presumed 7 years after their disappearance. Under another, there can be a declaration of death in Virginia before the 7 years are up if there is a situation where someone was exposed to a specific peril of death, the code specifies. Can stated to CNN, maybe what happened here may be a sufficient basis for determining that the person is presumed to have died less than 7 years after the exposure to a specific peril of death. Julia told CNN that the Victim Advocate Unit of the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office is assisting the Konanki family in navigating the two-step process of establishing grounds for presumption of death and following judicial procedure, or any other process, should the Konanki family request it. Reasons to ask for a death certificate. One of the reasons the family may seek their daughter's death declaration is simply for closure, said personal injury and criminal defense attorney Philip deLucent. From a parental position, they want to honor their child and have it be respected, their wishes, that she be declared dead because they're under the impression, based upon all the evidence they were given at this juncture, that it was a drowning case, deLucent said. We are coming to terms with the fact that our daughter has drowned with deep sadness and a heavy heart. This is incredibly difficult for us to process, Father Subarayudu Konanki said in an emotional interview on WTTG Tuesday. We kindly ask you to keep our daughter in your prayers, we still have 2 young children to care for. I think everybody would agree that they respect the family's wishes, deLucent said. Nonetheless, law enforcement, as well as the medical examiner, would have their duty to rule a death, and that duty surpasses any desires. deLucent added, there is still no body so that an autopsy could be performed. That in and of itself makes it difficult for the authorities to then decide whether or not to declare someone deceased, especially in these circumstances. Another reason for seeking the death declaration, deLucent said, may be so an estate can be opened and any will and testament could then be administered. The attorney explained that Konanki's existing college savings plans could be used for their other children, and insurance policies could also be honored and paid out. Until a death certificate is issued, those things remain in an inertia period, he said. Lastly, deLucent mentioned that no one can sue anyone or anything until an estate is opened and an administrator is appointed. If the Konanki family were to seek any type of lawsuit, the declaration of death would also determine the type of lawsuit and the damages for the death, UVA Professor Can said. Sudiksha's death has not been the subject of a lawsuit from the Konanki family. Similar to Natalie Holloway's disappearance in 2005, Konanki's case is similar. In 2012, an Alabama judge signed an order declaring Holloway legally dead. The teen's father had filed a petition to declare his daughter dead, 6 years after Holloway was last seen leaving a nightclub on the Caribbean island of Aruba with Joran van der Sloot and 2 other men. Even though van der Sloot later admitted to killing her, her body has never been found, and no one was charged with her disappearance. Holloway's father's attorney, Mark White, said at the time that the order, which acted as a death certificate, would help resolve Natalie's estate, who still had a small college fund in her name and was listed as a participant and beneficiary on her father's health insurance. A 22-year-old Iowan, who was named a person of interest in the disappearance of a college student who went missing during a spring break trip to the Dominican Republic, was given his passport back and allowed to return to the United States. A judge in the Dominican Republic ruled that Joshua Reeb, the man who police believed was the last to have last seen 20-year-old Sudiksha Konanki, should be freed from police surveillance and returned to the United States, according to CBS News. Reeb has not been charged with a crime, and no suspects in Konanki's disappearance have been named, according to the Dominican Republic National Police and NBC News. Reeb, who originally is from Rock Rapids in northwestern Iowa and is a student at St. While being escorted by police wherever he went, Cloud State University in Minnesota had been restricted to the hotel's grounds. The law firm Guzman Ariza informed People on Wednesday that he and his father have since returned to the United States. The prosecutor's office of La Altagracia informed him of their readiness to return his passport on March 18, following the conclusion of the habeas corpus hearing that ordered the release of our client, Joshua Reeb, the attorneys stated in a statement. While Joshua appreciated this decision, he chose, for privacy reasons, to apply for a new passport at the U.S. consulate, which was promptly issued. We are pleased to announce that Joshua and his father are currently traveling back to their home in the United States, the lawyers said, before later confirming that he has arrived. Konanki, a University of Pittsburgh student, traveled to the island with 5 girlfriends during spring break. Authorities say she was last seen early March 6 on the beach with friends. In a previous statement, police said surveillance cameras captured 5 women and 1 man leaving the beach at about 6 a.m. Surveillance footage shows Konanki leaving the beach area hours later without her companion, who was later identified as Reeb. More reports. Iowan, last to see Sudiksha Konanki, tried to save missing student from ocean. Reeb told investigators he and Konanki went into the ocean together and a large wave dragged them away from shore. According to a transcript of his interview with police obtained by U.S. and Dominican news outlets, Reeb said he carried Konanki back to shallower water and saw her walk knee-high in the direction she had left her clothes before he vomited and later passed out. He said he thought she had taken her clothes and left, but he did not see her again. Chad Quinn, spokesperson with the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office in Konanki's hometown in Virginia, has said Reeb was not part of the group that Konanki traveled to the island with and is believed to have met them in the resort town of Punta Cana. Recently, Konanki's family stated that they believe Konanki drowned in the ocean. Sudiksha's family has expressed their belief that she drowned, Sheriff Michael Chapman, of Loudoun County, Virginia, said in a statement. While a final decision to make such a declaration rests with authorities in the Dominican Republic, we will support the Konanki family in every way possible as we continue to review the evidence and information made available to us in the course of this investigation. Her family sent a letter to Dominican authorities asking that she be declared dead, Dominican Republic National Police spokesperson Diego Pesqueira said, according to a report from NBC News late Monday. In the letter, which was also obtained by Fox News, they wrote that initiating the process of declaring her dead would not ease their grief but would bring some closure and enable us to honor her memory.